Hello everyone. Hello. This is Drama Queen ASMR. I just, as you can tell, got done filming that weird video, random ASMR. I don't know what was going through my head, and then I kind of got frustrated when the fridge turned on and it's still running. I don't know what got like that. I didn't have any plan for that video. I just started doing like a super light voice for no reason. And I just started acting weird for no reason. Like, I just thought, what if I click record and I just behave and I just put on my little acting cap and just go about it, and that's what happened. So today I wanted to, well, tonight, as you can tell, it is night. I wanted to not waste this moment. I mean, I made my hair look good, my nails are nice. I did makeup at 9 o'clock at night. So I don't want to waste it, the time that I don't want to waste, preparedness. So there is something I wanted to chit chat about, because I love when ASMR artists do this. They sort of just talk about their lives and their experiences. They usually put it on a different channel, but sometimes they put it on their regular channel. And I would like to, I already have more than one channel on YouTube, so I'd like to put anything ASMR themed on the same channel. So I'm going to try to make a little bit more mouth sounds with my mouth. I'm going to try not to squeak too much with my S's. Maybe turn the gain down just a little bit. And what I'm going to talk about today, cut to the chase girl, is the last days of school from the perspective of a teacher. So I am a high school English teacher. I know. I am 24, almost 25 years old. I'll be 25 in August. And you're like, how? Newsflash, there is a teacher shortage in America. And I have a bachelor's degree in English. I'm on my way to my master's in secondary English education, so that one day, if I need to get my doctorate, I can, and so that one day I'll be able to teach college level. I would like to be a college professor one day. That's where I see things going. That's what I'd like to do. But there's so much sentiment and so much happiness that goes into these kids, and all over TikTok and stuff. You can see them. They're like, I'm graduating tomorrow. And the way that it works down here, today is Monday, Memorial Day, May 26th. I don't know why I had to really think about that, because I've had the weekend off. Tomorrow we go back, at least at my school, we go back to school for 2 days, and then we have a teacher duty day, and then we're supposed to have a second teacher duty day. But unless you're packing up your whole room and leaving for good, there's not really, if you can get all your grading done on Thursday, hopefully you don't need to go in on Friday, right? But it's kind of a normal work week, except we got Monday off. I don't know. I just wanted to do a nice little chit chat about the emotional perspective of a teacher in the last few days of school. Because I don't even know that I've unpacked these feelings. So I think this might be, live therapy. It is crazy how slowly moving the school year is, and then in an instant it is over. It has felt like the falling action at the end of a play for so long, that I've spent so long in that descent to the end that I can't even believe that it's hard to grasp. Like, I have 6 periods. So we have a 7-period schedule, but because I have a planning period, I teach 6 periods. I teach 9th and 11th grade. Next year I'm going to be doing, I think, 11th and 12th, unless something changes. And it's hard to grasp. Like, some of my kids I've already said goodbye to with a hug, high five, or handshake. It started out at the beginning of the year. I had 170 total students between all 6 of my class periods. It's kind of gone down as certain kids have failed classes. They've been pulled out or taken out to different schools, or, transitions have been made. So I'm down to 158. But it's hard to grasp. Like, I've said goodbye to some of them already, and I might not even realize it. Because at the end of the day, the kids could just stop coming, and then you don't see them until they pass by you in the hallway next year, or if they switch schools, you don't see them, and maybe you hear from them oddly through the online portal because they just randomly say, "Hey, how you doing, miss?" I'll admit, I don't know if I should move into this topic yet. No, I'll wait. It's weird watching people like pack up their rooms. It's weird. So I have like, I'm not crying, it's okay. I call her like a room neighbor, because me and another teacher are connected by a pod room, and it's strange because she's moving into a different position next year, so I'm gonna get a new room neighbor, and I'm like, I don't want a new one. As nice as this lady seems, I don't love change, and it's weird because this is the career for change. And my whole life, I've been told that I'm really good at adapting, but I hate it. But I don't know what I'd do without constant change. My whole childhood, why can't I say my whole childhood, we moved quite a bit, and I'm not mad about it, but it just made me like, I need change. I'm literally selling this dining table and getting a new one because I just want to change things up and downsize certain things. I just don't like the same thing all the time, and I hate routine. But I don't like the falling feeling of change too much. Everybody's packing up their rooms, and they're like, "You haven't packed yet." And I'm like, well, I'm not changing rooms next year, and I'm not gonna start packing when there are children in my classroom. I mean, I've started organizing and throwing away a lot of the documents that I don't need anymore and that I won't need next year because I'm not teaching that subject, or that grade level, I guess. But I'm not it seems inappropriate to like pack all your things in front of the children. I kind of did a little bit last year because I worked at a middle school last year, and now I work at a high school. So I moved out of the middle school. So yeah, at that point, I kind of moved in front of the kids because we didn't have multiple teacher duty days and multiple days where kind of halfway through the day, they want most of the kids to be picked up. It's very strange, and I've never seen anything like it. But basically, the only part of the day that I tend to worry about for the last few days has been the first part of the day, because they have like these big exam periods, and then midway through the day, they gave kids a form to like sign out early because they want to get kids out of there. If you don't know if you haven't been in high school in a while, or you don't know about the state of how things are in America or in Florida specifically, a lot of violence in the last week of school. It's very bad. A lot of times fights will happen, extreme violence will happen, and I think part of that whole leave early schedule every single day is in order to help prevent violence and stuff like that. I mean, then again, I've seen kids get into it via text message, and they plan out like at 8:30, at 8:24, whenever the bell rings, we're gonna go to bathroom in building whatever. And you're like, that's stupid. These kids aren't stupid, but I could get into how they're raised to be violent and that things aren't changing in the right way. But it's just a lot to mentally process. Summer, I don't know how I'm going to cope with summer. Last year, it felt like it went in a flash, and it's going to go in a flash this time. Basically, we get 2 months and maybe like a week or two is kind of it. So you get like 2 months and like a week. And it's a struggle to feel productive. You want to make extra money, because even though you get paid for summer, you want to make extra money because there is an inherent guilt in sitting on your butt for 2 months and a week. It is a horrible feeling to look back at 2 months and say, what have I done? Have I done anything of worth? And I don't want to look back and think that when August comes. So I just can't help but feel positive. Every school year, you get another year of experience under your belt as a teacher. You get more credibility, you get more understanding and more experience, and you get out of the phase of, yeah, the first year sucks. Yeah, the second year sucks. Yeah, the third year. Well, eventually, once you get into the fourth and fifth year, and people stop saying that to you, although they will say the first years are hard for a few years still. And it kind of helps me with my growing pains, because, the more I move through my 20s, the more I feel self-conscious. But these kids are so happy and jubilant and eager about their future, and they're also getting a year older at a time, and they're happy about it. They're like, finally. And sometimes you need to keep that mindset of every year I am unlocking new doors, even though the milestones and the unlocks were bigger when we were young. Like at 18, you were a legal adult. At 21, you could drink. Earlier, at 16 or 15, you could start driving, right? Those milestones were huge. Thank you. Those milestones were huge, but there can still be milestones here, such as, I will be almost 26 when I get my master's completed. So it's okay that I'm turning, 25, because I'm going to be 25 years old when I get my master's. So then I'll be in the same year, as getting my master's. And that's a cool, growing up, you might have never thought you could accomplish certain things. And then you start to, and you're like, oh, look at me go. But there's just a lot of emotions. I know I'm going to cry this week and feel super emotional, and I'm going to give a lot of hugs, because last school year I only went half the year with the kids. I started in January of the year, so there were hugs, but there was no crying. This year I have students that beg me, and I don't want to get emotional. They beg me to keep in contact with them. They wish they could go hang out with me and, in person, because me and them have similar interests, right? Sometimes I'm only 6, 8, 10 years older than these kids. Because the difference in age between my kids is about, my youngest are 14 and my oldest are 18, because I teach juniors and freshmen. So some of them, they're like, oh, I wish I could hang out with you. You're so cool. And don't say anything in the comments insinuating that anything is inappropriate. I can give my kid a hug, because I see them as my kid. You know what I mean? These students are my students, but they are my kids. And sometimes they don't even know that I think that way, because I'll reference talking about them and I'll say my kids. And they'll be like, you don't have children. And I'm like, no, you guys. Like, I see you as like my people, you know, that I'm meant to protect. And that's the way a teacher should be. You know, I would lay down my life for them in extreme scenarios. But it's just a lot of emotions, and it's going to be hard. But I felt good to come and chat about them with you. Sorry, I'm looking at myself the whole time. It's just where the middle of the phone is. But I thank you so much for joining me for this chat. If you have any questions, ask them down below, and I'll definitely either respond with a comment, or I'll make a video responding. If there's anything you want a perspective on in terms of being a teacher, I'd love to answer that. Remember, I am an English teacher. I don't know if that makes any difference. But thank you so much for joining me on this chit chat. I loved sitting here and talking with you. And I hope you have an amazing night and we're able to relax. Love you. Night.